After a few heartbreaks in my late teens, I decided that, you know what? Life would be a lot better if I just thought life would be so much easier and better if I was just to focus on myself and swear out of dating or any relationships at all. Because I was afraid of women. No, just joking. But I was afraid of getting into a relationship that I'm gonna end up really committing and then throw my life away. As we all know it, as guys, if we do not know how to maintain our relationships, well, it's just gonna take you over. You're just gonna end up doing whatever your chick wants to do and dancing and playing the flute for her, being the jester, and then she won't even end up liking you anyway. She'll stop liking you and go for the Chad who worked on himself. So pretty much that was me. I did not know how to handle relationships properly, to integrate them into part of my life. So going through my early 20s or even late teens, I was just like, you know what? I have the gym, I have the boys, I'm in uni, we got the parties, you don't have to commit to anyone, and you're just gonna enjoy yourself. And you know what? Hanging out with chicks isn't even that fun. Like, what are you gonna talk about? I'd rather play a few rounds of video games with the boys. That's way more fun. And honestly, to this day, it's still pretty damn fun. But this sort of mindset actually fucked me up completely. Because while it is good to abstain so that you can focus on what's at hand as a man, that's very good. It is also unnatural to pretend that you're not interested in women and tell your brain that I'm just not gonna go after any women, I'm gonna pretend they don't exist, and maybe, I'll talk to one or two at a party when I'm 6 shots down, when it's easy. Because if any of you guys are like me, or how I used to be, I didn't have very many social skills. I wasn't able to, just spit game and talk to women and make them laugh and just make them feel comfortable. I was the guy that if I'm talking to you, you're gonna feel uncomfortable and then you're gonna find an excuse to leave if you're a girl. And that was the case for a while. And you know what I did? I just thought, well, I don't need them anyway. I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna keep hitting the gym. I'm gonna work all these jobs. And I was working like 3 different jobs at the same time and focus on school. And that side wasn't too bad. But the only problem was, this is cope. This is just cope for not having to go after women. It's a lot easier for us guys to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell myself I'm working. That's why I don't have time for a girlfriend. It's so much easier to sit there and say, I don't need to approach those women. I don't need to get their number. It's okay if I'm scrolling on Tinder and she rejects me, because you know what? I have work anyway. As a matter of fact, I got exams coming up. I'm gonna study. I have to go to the gym. So you know what? Dating's just not for me right now. And saying that maybe once I'm 25, once I'm 30, whatever the age is, or whenever you think you're actually going to achieve a little bit more and level up in life, then I can go after women. But the truth is, that just creates a gap to where you're starting to become that guy that looks like he has everything figured out, or at least maybe you have the body now, or people are starting to say like, hey, do you work out? Or at the same time, people are like, hey, where'd you get money for that trip? Or are you working somewhere nice? So maybe you're making some progress. Okay. And now suddenly women started to pay attention to you. It's the other way around. And maybe, just maybe, a woman started to show you a slight bit of attention. But the only problem is you have absolutely no idea how to handle it. You just don't know. You're like, yeah, great, I'll see you around. You'll pull out maybe in a social setting, a girl says to you, yeah, and maybe we can grab some coffee. And you just scratch your head and like, well, actually, I don't even like coffee. So, yeah, I don't know, bye. And you're just like, and then 2 weeks later, you tell this story to your friend and he's like, dude, she was into you. Oh, she was? Oh, now that you mention it, I think she was. And also, I like coffee. I don't know why I said I don't like coffee. So you get into those stupid situations. And for me personally, I've heard it so many times where once some things started to show for the work I'm putting in, but not my social side, not my side of even talking to women, it's very often girls will find themselves around you, like in a social situation, maybe it's a party. They'll be around you, they'll put themselves out there for you to talk to. And eventually when it's just blatantly obvious that they want you to talk to them, and you just don't, and they kind of look at you, and this is the line I've heard the most. They would all tell me, you should say something, or you should talk more. And I remember thinking, well, I just don't have anything to say right now. Or maybe I just don't find them interesting, or I don't like them. But I've heard that message so often. You should talk more. You should talk more. You probably have a lot of things to say. And the truth is, I did on the inside. I would not shut up talking to the camera or talking to my friends. But when it came to being out and social, I would just not say a word. And imagine what happens to the people, or if I was to let this go further. Let's say you actually got on your feet completely, like you're the man, you're doing amazing, you're successful, and then you're just like, I don't know how to talk to women, so I'm gonna pay for them. And you know what? Let me take this woman on a helicopter date. I have all this money, and she just ends up using you because she realizes you don't know shit about women, you don't know what they want, you don't know how to talk to them, and that's the problem. So while it wasn't wrong of me to completely to decide to chase success, essentially to go after building myself and my life, but it does not mean you need to swear off of women and relationships. If you're doing that right now, just ask yourself, are you coping? Maybe there's a girl you want to ask out and you like her, or you think she's attractive and you see her every time you're working out, but then you're thinking, no, but actually I better go to work after this, or I got I don't know, I have to work on my business, so technically I can't even say hi to her, so I'm not going to ask her on a date because I don't have time. And you're just pretending that you don't have time. Because so far from what I've seen, life isn't just made up of you working and progressing. Even if there's a part of your life where you do a lot of that, yes, but there's still time for everything else. There's still time for you to go to sleep. There's time for gym. There's time for work, and there's time for women or socializing. And so if in parallel, while you're building yourself, you're also developing your skills with women, guess what's going to happen? When you're actually more successful, you're not going to get scammed by them. You're not going to be used. You will know if she actually likes you or she just likes your six-pack. Or not only that, you'll be able to have so many more options just because you've learned some game over the years. You've just picked up a few skills here and there because maybe you got into relationships, got out of some. And when you do get into a longer committed relationship, you're not afraid of it because you know how to hold frame. You know how to make sure you can lead the relationship and make it go where you want it to go, and your woman is going to follow. She's not going to take over your life to the point where you're dancing in front of her asking, what do you want? What do you want today? Oh, you don't like ice cream? Oh, let me buy you some Starbucks today. Oh, you're still mad? Well, I don't know. Let me go take out the trash. And then before you realize, you're just a clown. That's what I was afraid of. I didn't want to end up like that again because I've been in that situation multiple times in my late teens, in high school. I was that joker, jester, entertaining the queen. And after getting out of that and understanding, hey, that's kind of fucked up. That took up so much of my time and degraded me as a person. It makes you feel like you're lower. And then I just thought, yeah, that's why I'm just not gonna let that anywhere near me. But that's just simply no way to live your life. You can't not develop the skills. Running a relationship or maintaining one, building one, it is also just a skill. Your first relationship, no matter how good you think it is or it's going, it's never going to be as good as your 10th. Yes, of course, does it matter which woman it is? Yes, that's why you don't just decide to commit to each one. But now you know how to choose the woman. Now you know if she's someone who's going to follow your frame and she's going to understand your values and ethics. This is how you run your life. And she can be part of it. She can choose to be. Or if she doesn't agree with it, well, she doesn't have to be part of it. But you learn the skills necessary to do that only through doing. Not even watching videos like this is going to help you. What's going to help you is going and applying. Watching this type of content and listening to somebody else's experiences will only take you so far, but the main thing is to go and do it yourself. So absolutely, keep on going to the gym, keep on building yourself, build business or go to work or climb the corporate ladder, whatever it is that you want to do. But do not neglect the social aspect, especially with women. Not just your friends are just as important, but also your woman. Or a woman, until she becomes the woman. That's that's just as important to not get yourself screwed up in life, because there are so many people that have made it far and they don't know shit about women and they don't know how to talk to them. They get cheated on all the time. And what is this big example? There's this guy, I think Will Smith, is it Will Smith and Jada Smith? You know, the woman who's bald, whatever, the wife of the other guy. That's basically the wife of the guy, and she just disrespects him openly, and he just takes it. I don't know if this is some kind of charade or some kind of power play or whatever they're playing, but this just goes to show that just becoming successful and becoming a really good man and building yourself doesn't mean that women will suddenly treat you a lot better. You'll get more opportunities and chances, but they're not gonna treat you better. They will only treat you how you allow yourself to be treated. And that doesn't matter if you're poor, broke, out of shape, or if you're already there and you're in shape, you've got it all, and all your relationships are amazing and everything's going amazing. You get to decide that right now. Set your standards, set your values. What are you not willing to give up? And when you enter a relationship, you're not confused. You're abundant. You know that, hey, this is just me. This is how I work. And frankly speaking, if you don't like that, there's the door. You don't have to choose her. You can date her for 2 months, figure out that you guys don't align, and if she wants more and you're not ready for more, you don't have to go further. You don't. I used to think that as the relationship progresses, maybe you meet her parents or then your parents meet and it becomes this whole thing and you're like, shit, I'm so deep. Maybe you're living with the chick and you're like, there's no way I'm getting out of this. I'm so deep into it. You need to remember, you always reserve the right to put the brakes on and say, hey, I'm not ready for that step yet. I'm not ready to move into a place with you because I'm not where I want to be financially, so that I can take care of both you and me and whatever the place we're staying at. Because I'd be doing both of us a disservice if I put myself into that situation. So I'm not gonna take the next step. And maybe if your timer is running, maybe that woman is 29 years old and you're 35 and you're still working on yourself. That's fine. Maybe she's got her, internal clock screaming, I gotta have kids. This guy doesn't wanna take the next steps. Well, she gets to move on. There is no pressure. There is no need to bend, because one way or another, the woman you're with wants the next steps and she's like burning to get on with it because her time is running short and you're not ready. It's either you say that you're not ready for that and she leaves, or you get into that situation, fuck yourself up, screw up your future, and then she leaves 10 years later. What's the worst outcome at this point? So to the young guys out there, don't be afraid of dating. You reserve the right to slow down the relationship. You always reserve the right to communicate. If somebody doesn't want to communicate, well then it's not even a relationship. It doesn't matter. Do not be afraid of women. Stop coping. Don't just say you're going to just hit another session at the gym and maybe there's a girl you want to talk to at the gym and you're like, no, I'm working out. Gym is no place for approaching women. I can certainly tell you, it definitely can be. It doesn't mean you have to go bug every woman, but obviously there are women who also want to find a decent guy at the gym. Maybe they're looking for you at the gym because they know good men go to the gym. So stop kicking yourself in the balls, stop cock blocking yourself, and just go out and talk to those women and don't be afraid. I'll catch you guys in the next one.